Hello and what's up, GSC Pokemon Challenges fam? How you guys doing? We're almost to the end, second to last episode of the Falkner Minimal Battle series. 16 challengers today, and then next week we're doing the final 9 Pokemon, plus a couple redos, plus some Pokemon from the channel members. So looking at our challengers today, guys, we have a very interesting selection of Pokemon to deal with. We're starting with all the Gen 1 fossils, which is amazing. We're going to pit that Kabutops up against that Omastar right off the bat. I'm not sure how the Mud Slap strats are going to work with these ones. We may just completely crush Falkner, or it may be borderline impossible. Just not sure. Then we get Aerodactyl, who's going to completely crush. We're just going to lump Aerodactyl in with all the birds. So we're going to do all the birds next. Aerodactyl, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Lugia, and Ho-Oh. They're all just going to get run right there. Then we'll come back, we'll check the king of Gen 2, Snorlax, and we'll kind of test it against the other normal types that we still have remaining. We've got Stantler and we've got Smeargle. Of course, Smeargle's its like whole own special thing. And then we're going to test out Raikou, Entei, and Suicune and just see which one is the best. I think they all get through. I'm boldly predicting that if we fail with anything in this episode, it's going to be like maybe Kabuto. Maybe. I think that's the only Pokemon that's going to fail, because if I recall correctly, Omanyte should start with Water Gun, which is Stab. I think it's Kabuto that probably only starts with something like Scratch and might get wrecked. That's just my prediction. Place yours in the comment section down below. With that being said, let's get into this. And once again, as usual, it's great to see you guys. Final 2 episodes. I'm super excited to get this done. I think by the end of the weekend, I will have all of these recorded, except for the channel member selections. I'm just waiting on those, but let's get into this for now. So first, let's start a new game, and we are starting with the almighty Omastar. So you guys got to tell me down below, in Gen 1, were you about Lord Helix? Were you about Lord Dome? You guys know where I fall on that, okay? I say it in basically every single episode on RBY Pokemon Challenges. You know which fossil I'm taking. But you guys can choose whatever you want. So here we have put Omastar into the Totodile Ball. It makes perfect sense. We're going to be 4 times weak against Bayleaf. That second section is going to be rough, but we start here with, wait, what is this nonsense? Did my eyes deceive me? We are starting with Constrict, Withdraw, and Bite? Oh god. Oh, this might be terrible. Oh no, what is this nonsense? Why does Omastar learn Bite? Like, I guess its mouth is just shaped to be like a bitey little mouth, so it's supposed to bite things? That was never a move in Gen 1. Like, I was expecting Water Gun here, not that. All right, so let's take on rival number 1, and there's really no reason for us to have the berry on here. We're clearly going to be just fine. He's only going to be able to use Tackle and Growl against us. But let's see how this bite action goes. All right, so here with our little bitey boy, let's just go ahead and spam bite. And there we go. We're easily winning with just 3 hits. Rival 1, he's a joke. Come on. The real question is bite going to be enough when we get to Falkner? Because we're obviously going to get through Honest Abe and through God Rod with this Pokemon, because, I mean, what's he going to do? You know, neutral or resisted damage with every single attack. It's the Falkner fight where we're going to get spammed with the Mud Slaps, which might make this a little bit hard. And just like that, we have made it to Falkner's gym. Let's check the stats as we come in. We're at level 6 with our Omastar, 26 HP. We're a rock water type, of course. We know Constrict, Withdraw, and Bite. And we've got 14 attack, 21 defense, 20 special attack, 15 special defense, and 13 speed. Our attack stat, which I believe is what we use for all of our attacking moves, is not that great. I don't know, is Dark type special in Gen 2? Have to double check that. But either way, we should have no trouble whatsoever with the Honest Abe fight. I don't even think we need berries for these first 2 trainers. Let's just go straight in and see if we can destroy them. So here, Honest Abe, first attempt here. Let's see how we do. I'm going to just put Bite in the top slot and just hold down the Auto A button, where it looks like we did 8 damage to him. So this is going to be like a 4-hit KO, and he's doing basically nothing to us. So Easy win. Very nice. So here we're just going to make very quick work of the God Rod and move straight on to Falkner. I don't even think we need to heal at this point. Oh, look, these pigeons get completely destroyed. Oh, Pidgey, you never had a chance. And we get to level 8 with Omastar. So coming into Falkner, we're at level 8 now with 31 HP, the same moveset as before, but now 17 attack, 27 defense, 26 special attack, 18 special defense, and 16 speed. We should outspeed the Pidgey, and I think that's enough. So let's just save the game and give Falkner the first attempt. So first try here against Falkner. The strategy, I think I'm going to go all in on attack first. So Bite appears to be a 2-hit KO on this Pidgey, and we're getting Mud Slapped to death. Oh no. But we do knock it out in 3 turns. Now we're on to the Pidgeotto, who's also going to use Mud Slap. We're not faster, so we can't get flinches here. Now, I did not give the berry, and it's just the accuracy that completely wrecked us there. So what we're going to do, we're going to rectify that by giving a berry. And now let's just save the game again and try to get back into this one. I don't think there's any other strategy, though. Just hold down A on Bite, I think, is the best strategy here. So there, we don't miss on the Pidgey, so we knock it out in 2 hits. Onto the Pidgeotto, and Pidgeotto is looking to be a 3-hit KO if we can land them. So here we get the second bite. One more, come on, come on. And there we go. We get through Falkner on the second attempt. It really wasn't that bad. Bite is pretty strong at this point in the game. I mean, it's a 60 base power move, however you look at it, and it is perfectly accurate outside of the accuracy drop. So Omastar, easy winner. Now, I'm not sure what we're going to have with our Omanyte, though. I think we're going to be coming here with Constrict and Withdraw, and that might be terrible. But at least for Omastar, having Bite on the moveset should mean that it's going to be pretty decent in the next section. At least we don't have to worry as much about Rival 2's Ghastly, because we can just destroy it with Bite. The real question is, will Bayleaf just outspeed and one-shot us with a super effective Razor Leaf? We're going to find out. But anyway, for now, we add Omastar to the pass column. Let's see how Kabutops matches up. So here as we start off the Kabutops section of this one, Lord Dome is the one, guys. I'm sorry. I know there's lots of people, you know, Twitch plays Pokemon, you know, Lord Helix. No, we're taking the Dome fossil every time, guys. If you know, you know. And I mean, it's not even the Dark Lord sort of thing like Scotty says. No, you got to protect your Dome, guys. Oh my God. This is what happens when a random guy who lives in Japan listens to too much hip hop as a way to feel like I'm listening to English again. So here we go. We are going to pick up our Kabutops in the same Totodile ball as before with our very nice Omastar. So what's the starting moveset? Okay, so this I'm a bit more comfortable with in the sense that it's exactly what I expected. Gen 1 moveset for Kabutops is exactly the same. Starts the game with Scratch, Harden, and Absorb. Now, of course, in Gen 1, what that means is that Kabutops easily beats Brock because it can just use Absorb, which is 4 times super effective on its Rock-type Pokemon, gets that massive advantage. And I mean, it's healing midway through the battle, so you don't even care if they hit you. But here, it might not be enough. Scratch with the accuracy drops. I mean, Scratch is 20 base power weaker than Bite, but we do have a higher attack stat. So we're just going to have to see how it balances out, basically. Now, one thing that we do know, of course, is that we do not need a berry for this Rival 1 fight because he's about to get completely wrecked. So let's just pop in here. And I don't think there's any strategy other than to just hold Auto A and just scratch him repeatedly. I think it's going to be a 4-hitter. Ooh, it's even looking like a 5-hit KO range. It just doesn't matter, though. He's not doing enough damage. We easily beat Rival 1. But that does make me a little bit nervous. That difference in the power of Scratch versus Bite could be enough that this one at least becomes really, really inconsistent, and we're grinding on Falkner for quite a while. But here we have made it to Falkner's gym with our Kabutops, level 6, 25 HP. We've got Scratch, Harden, and Absorb, 20 attack, 19 defense, 14 special attack, 15 special defense, and 16 speed. We're already as fast now at level 6 as Omastar was at level 8 going into Falkner, so that is a pretty good sign. We shouldn't have any trouble here with Honest Abe either. Let's just see how this goes. So we're just going to hold down A on Scratch. He's doing 2 damage to us. It looks like we are doing about 6 damage to him. So this is an easy win. We level up to level 7. Now we can just beat up Godrod, make our way to Falkner himself. And of course, we just shred right through Rod's 2 Pidgeys since they don't know Mud Slap. But I'm very nervous how Mud Slap's going to play here. I'm going to give the berry to Kabutops. Let's check the stats as we come into Falkner. We've leveled up to level 8, same as any slow level up Pokemon at this point. We've got the same moveset and a berry on, but now we have 26 attack, 24 defense, 18 special attack, 18 special defense, and 20 speed. That 20 speed is actually very important because that means we're going to outspeed all of Falkner's Pokemon. Let's see if it's enough though. Falkner attempt number 1. So here against the Pidgey, it looks to be a 3-hit KO with Scratch. There's not really anything that we can do there, but we do get through 2 Pidgeotto. We outspeed, we hit the first Scratch. But let's see, it did 7 damage, so this should be a 5-hit KO on the Pidgeotto, assuming no critical hits. And since he's just using Mud Slap the whole way, that did not work. Now there is another idea, another possible strategy, which is to use Harden here in order to reduce damage and thus give ourselves more moves. I don't think we set it up on Pidgey though. I think we just go all in on attacking Pidgey to take it down. But now, I mean, our accuracy is gonna get kind of wrecked here anyway. So while the accuracy is still kind of decent, I'm going to use a couple of scratches, but now we're all the way down on accuracy anyway. So let's just harden up. Let's see if we get him down to doing like 2 damage here. Oh no, he gets a critical hit. And yeah, it looks like even with all of the hardened setups, he's still doing 3 damage per hit here. So we really should only use like 1 harden here. Okay, so this time we got no misses on the Pidgey. We're going to set up 1 harden here just to buy ourselves more turns, because that's all we need. We just need to land 5 hits, and we've got the berry on. So now he's doing 3 damage per hit. We have 24 HP, which means we can take 8 hits. So now it's just trying to get the luck to actually land our scratches on him. We need 3 more, and I don't think we're going to get it on this one. It's too bad. We're just going to reset right there. We can also try to get crits here. Crits could be a factor. Oh, there we got the critical hit on Pidgey, allowing us to knock it out in only 2 hits. Now we go harden. And now let's just keep scratching. We still haven't used the berry, so it's just a war of attrition. And it's all just about accuracy luck from here on out. So we've gotten him down to 13 HP. We need 1 more hit, and there we go. Kabutops gets through Falkner. The strategy turns out to be ideally get a critical hit on that Pidgey so that you knock it out in only 2 turns. And then you don't need any crits on the Pidgeotto. Of course, it would be nice, but really the ultimate strategy is to use that 1 harden, get him down to 3 damage per hit, and then just whittle him down, get the 8 hits that you need. So there we go. We have gotten through that battle. And Kabutops, moving on to the next section. Now, I just gotta say, Kabutops, one of my all-time favorite Pokemon. Like, an absolute beast. Awesome Pokemon. I thought it was great as a kid because it could learn Grass-type moves. But, I mean, that's a whole other thing. But we do get to learn Mega Drain in Gen 2, which is ridiculous. Let's just look at the moveset of this Pokemon as we move on. So in the next section, we are going to not really learn anything, I don't think. If we get anything, it's going to be Leer, which isn't that great. And it also appears that we don't learn any TMs in the next section, other than Fury Cutter if we beat Bugsy first. That might be a strategy, we'll just have to see. Because if we could build up a Fury Cutter before we get to the Bayleaf, we might just be fast enough to one-shot it, and that would be ridiculous, but it could work out. That might be the strategy. Anyway, it's gotten through. Let's check the unevolved forms, starting with Omanyte. All right, so we have the Omanyte run loaded up, and I'm very nervous for this, because if we are just dealing with Constrict, 10 base power, we've already seen Constrict with good defense in this run when we did the Shuckle section. Now, granted, Shuckle is neutrally affected by the flying type moves, but yeah, it's just not really a great situation. So this could be a Pokemon to go struggle strats with, even though our attack stat isn't going to be amazing. We've only got 40 base attack. But yeah, that could be the strategy here. And sure enough, constrict and withdraw. Oh, this is going to be terrible. But yeah, I think worst comes to worst, we go for the struggle strats with some withdraws left over that could be useful, that could be enough to get us through. Maybe we end up in a situation like Kabutops, you know, a critical hit on the Pidgey and then just hoping to get enough turns against the Pidgeotto might be the way to go. So here we are going to just take the berry off before we fight Rival 1 because Lord Helix needs no help against Rival 1. Come on, this guy's a chump. We're just gonna sit here and I'm gonna withdraw first. And I'm not sure that Constrict's going to do anything anyway, so I think I'm just going to sit here and spam Constrict over and over again. I think we're both just doing 1 damage per hit, no matter how we look at it. Probably comes down to crits here, if I had to guess. Oh, but the problem is we have less HP than he does. Oh my god, this is terrible. So here, this is going to be incredibly close. He is using some growls against us, and he is slower because of the Constrict. So we are getting through this fight with 1 HP remaining. Are you kidding me? Oh, that's bad. Oh, I'm not sure Lord Helix has any shot in this section whatsoever. Now hold up just a second, because here youngster Mikey is usually nothing to talk about, but here we have an issue. Constrict is only doing 2 damage per hit against this Pidgey. It's doing 2 to 3 damage, but that's not great. So that Pidgey did 3 damage to us, and now he's using Tail Whip with his Rattata, which means that he's getting to the point of doing 2 damage per hit to us, and we're only doing 2 damage per hit to him. So if he goes all in on attack, we can actually lose to youngster Mikey here, in spite of the fact that this is a rock type Pokemon. Now you could argue for going for some of our patented withdrawals here, but then that takes even more turns to get through. I'm gonna try it, but let's just see. So I'm gonna give a couple of withdrawals right off the bat, and then we might need to give a berry here in order to make this work. Like, the whole issue in that previous fight was, of course, that he was getting so many hits on us, and he was using Tail Whip, so he was doing more and more damage. At least this way he can use a couple Tail Whips and it doesn't matter. It just kind of brings everything back to average, even. But he does like to use his Tail Whips here. So now he got a critical hit that did 3 damage. Yeah, guys, we might need a berry to get through youngster Mikey. In this, I never would have expected that with a rock type Pokemon. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. We've been beaten by youngster Mikey 3 times now. So yeah, I'm going to give the berry. We should get through at this point, but man, that is rough. And this basically just goes to show why Constrict is by far and away, in my opinion, at least the worst move in the entire game. Like, I would rather have Splash and know that it does nothing than to have a damage dealing move that does basically no damage. So here we are going to heal with the berry, and even still he gets a critical hit, so he's got us down to like half health, and he's doing 2 damage per hit. So we need some luck here. We're only doing 1 damage per hit to him with our Constrict, and he knocks us out even with the berry. So finally, after 6 attempts, we beat youngster Mikey. That was terrible. That should not happen. like we should never have trouble on youngster Mikey. That really doesn't bode well for this section. I think struggle strats are going to be required on Falkner. I don't see any way that we're going to deal enough damage with Constrict to ever get through that fight otherwise. With the accuracy drops, plus the fact that we're super affected by the mud slaps, it's just not going to happen. But here we have made it to Falkner's gym. So at level 6 with 22 HP, Lord Helix is here. Constrict and withdraw. We have 11 attack, 18 defense, 17 special attack, 13 special defense, 11 speed. We're not going to outspeed anything. Constrict can lower the opponent's speed. Let's see how this goes. So first attempt against good old Honest Abe. I'm gonna give a withdraw real quick. And now he gets a critical hit. Are you kidding me? And I didn't put a berry on. It's terrible. This whole fight already just trash. Let's reset here. Let's put the berry on and see how this goes now. So second attempt against Honest Abe. Keep in mind that Constrict can lower the opponent's speed. And that's kind of what we're hoping for. We want the speed drop. Now we're only doing 1 damage per hit, which means it takes 27 turns to get through this fight. He's doing 2 damage per hit to us, which means we go down in 11 turns. Now we do then heal up with a berry, which effectively means that we gain, 5 more turns, but we're talking 16 turns for him to knock us out, even with the berry, without any critical hits, and 27 turns for us to knock him out. So we can say definitively that that strategy does not work. Constrict is simply way too weak to have any shot against Honest Abe. So what do? Well, we're gonna have to test struggle strats. And the entire point here is not that we want to struggle. I think we have to struggle. Like, we can just do the math on that first fight and see that Constrict is not strong enough to win this fight. So here I'm going to give myself 0 PP, the smallest PP ever. All right, so we have used the powers of Game Hook in order to set both of our moves to have 0 PP. We might have to mess around with this when we get to Falkner. We might need some withdrawals in order to get through that fight. But here for the Honest Abe fight, let's just keep the berry on and then try to beat him with struggle strats. So here I'm going to save the game. Let's go again against Honest Abe. So here we're just going to hold down A. He's doing 2 damage per hit. Of course, it's 3 damage effectively each turn when we take our recoil damage, but we're doing 5 damage per hit to him. So now he's just a 6-hit KO and we have the berry. So now this is a possible fight. And it's just because struggles effectively 50 base power. And what that means is that, we go from a literally impossible fight to a fight that's not that bad. And given that withdraw deals no damage and Constrict is so incredibly weak, we would definitely be able to use up all our PP on some wild Pokemon. So it's not technically minimum battles anymore, but we've got a struggle category for a reason. So here we're just going to stick with the same strategy on the God Rod. He has 2 Pokemon. They're only doing 1 damage per hit, of course. We've got the berry on. I think this is going to work just fine. We get through the first Pidgey, still with more than half health. So without some crazy critical hit luck, I don't see any way that we would ever lose this fight, especially after the berry. So yeah, this one's going down. But now the question is Falkner. So we did level up to level 8. We're going to slam a potion. We're going to give a berry, save the game, and let's just see the stats as we go in here. We are at level 8 now with Lord Helix, 26 HP. We've got no PP in any of our moves. We're going to go in first trying just the struggle strats. We've got 14 attack, 23 defense, 22 special attack, 16 special defense, and 13 speed. Even the Pidgey I expect to outspeed us here. So we're going to get a Mud Slap first. We're just going to have to kind of hope that we can get enough turns and make this work. So let's start off just first attempt, all in on attack, see what the ranges are. So here he has his Pidgey. We are going to get Mud Slapped, use Struggle. So Struggle did 6 damage there. So Struggle is going to be a 4-hit KO on the Pidgey. And yeah, sorry, we're actually in a speed tie against the Pidgey, but we're below half health already. And it's doing 3 damage per hit to us. Now, we've already found on Pidgeotto that it's basically going to do 3 damage per hit no matter what we do. So yeah, we're just going down on that one. So I think we need to use some withdrawals here. The question is, even if we give ourselves like 1 withdraw, will it be enough? So here via the powers of Game Hook, I have given myself 1 withdraw. So that would mean going back out, healing up, wasting all your PP against wild Pokemon again, and coming back to the gym to try to beat Falkner. And what we're going to do, we're going to use that 1 withdraw first on the Pidgey, really just hoping to get a better damage range. We're still taking 3 damage here, but that's not what it's really about. It's about the Pidgeotto that's coming up later. And here, I mean, this is taking 4 hits to get through. We've already used our berry. I just see no way, guys. If we are in a situation where we're using our berry here on the Pidgey, oh, this is terrible. Oh, terrible, I say. Look at that. We didn't even get the 4-hit range there. We caused the Pidgey to use all of its Mud Slaps, and then it beats us with Tackle. Are you kidding me? So, I mean, let's just call this for what it is, guys. This is terrible. This is truly terrible. This is not, I don't think, technically impossible. I think if you landed every single hit, if you never missed, and you got a crit, you could probably get through this fight. But it's going to be so insanely impractical. You are always going to get hit by all the Mud Slaps. So the ideal run, let's just think about that for a second. The ideal run is that the Pidgey hits us with 3 Mud Slaps, assuming we win the speed tie all 4 times and we never miss. It's going to be a 4-hit KO range on this Pidgey. So we get the 4-hit KO range and we take 3 Mud Slaps. So that's already got our accuracy down to like 50%. Then we get to the Pidgeotto, against whom, I mean, let's conservatively say that we're doing like 5 damage per hit. We would have to land 5 hits on that one, which I don't think we even do 5 damage per hit. It's probably 4, in which case that's like 7 hits to knock out the Pidgeotto. At least. Sorry, I'm trying to remember. Am I remembering the right HP value? But then, you know, we're talking like 7-8 hits maybe to knock out the Pidgeotto while still taking, you know, multiple points of damage per hit. I just, you know, like I think maybe 1 withdraw might get it down to doing like 3 or 4 damage per hit, but that's just not enough. I just don't see any way that this Pokemon gets through. Now for channel members, this might be a really great candidate of a Pokemon to give an egg move to. As I mentioned at the end of the last one, the channel members will be allowed to choose 1 Pokemon to save by giving an egg move. And do you know what egg moves this Pokemon learns? It can learn Aurora Beam, it can learn Bubble Beam. It's got some nice ones on that list. And I'm pretty sure that would get Omanyte through. But anyway, for now, Omanyte goes into the loser column. It is out of here. No way. We're not going to sit here and grind this. This is way too painful. Let's move on to Kabuto. Maybe it gets some redemption. So the hope that I have for Kabuto, of course, comes from the fact that I think it's going to start with Scratch. Now, Scratch isn't like an ideal move by any means, but at least it's 40 base power, and we don't have to struggle. The issue with struggle here, right? Keep in mind, let's say we're taking 3 damage per hit from Mud Slap, but then we're taking at least 1 damage back every time that we use struggle. So we're effectively taking 4 damage per turn. That can add up, especially with a very defensive Pokemon like this. That can be the difference between having enough turns to get through the fight and not having enough turns to get through the fight. So let's just double check that it is in fact Scratch here. And yes, very nice. So Scratch and Harden. This is exactly the moveset that Kabuto gets in Pokemon Red and Blue, which is the reason it doesn't beat Brock on minimum battles. It just doesn't have enough HP to get through both the Geodude and the Onix while it's doing only 1 damage per hit. But it's kind of strange to me that they completely nerfed Omanyte and yet they left Kabuto completely untouched. Like, why would you change Omanyte from having Water Gun as its starting move to having only Constrict as its starting move? Like that just makes no sense to me. Like, clearly, what this means is this. Game Freak also takes the Dome Fossil. Definitively proven. They hate Lord Helix. They're all about Lord Dome, guys. Oh, this is ridiculous. Now, of course, the good news is we already know we're going to beat Rival 1. This is going to just be a cakewalk. So let's just come in here, hold down the Auto A. We're doing about 4 damage per hit. After the growl, we're doing 3 damage per hit. He's only doing 1 damage per hit to us. It does not matter. We're just getting through this 100% of the time. So here we have made it to Falkner's gym with Kabuto. Much easier than it was to get here with Omanyte. We're level 6. We're rock water. Of course, we've got 21 HP. Scratch and Harden is the move set. We've got 16 attack, 17 defense, 13 special attack, 12 special defense, 13 speed. We should not need the berry on these first 2 Pokemon, or these first 2 trainers rather. So let's get into the Honest Abe fight. Let's find out if we just crush him on the first attempt. So here we're just gonna hold auto A. Spec did 2 damage, we did 5 damage. So we're basically in the same range as Omanyte using Struggle here. So we get through insanely easily. That was never in question. And here against the God Rod, more of the same, and we can just see how much stronger Scratch is. Not only do we have a higher attack stat than Lord Helix anyway, but Scratch being 4 times stronger than Constrict is a massive power boost. So here coming into Falkner, we're now level 8 with our little Lord Dome. We have the same moveset, Scratch and Harden doesn't change, but now we've got 20 attack, 22 defense, 16 special attack, 14 special defense, and 16 speed. That 16 speed is also incredibly relevant. It means we will guaranteed outspeed the Pidgey. Let's see how this goes. So here, Falkner attempt 1. Let's go all in on attack on the Pidgey. Oh, it gets a critical hit turn 1, but that only did 3 damage there. We, meanwhile, did 7 damage. So we should take this one down in 4 hits. And we do knock it out. We're still in green health. I'm going to give 1 Harden here just to increase our defense. We've got 6 turns. Oh, no, we don't. Still doing 5 damage per hit. Oh, my God. Okay, we might need to set up Hardens on the Pidgey. Our 1 Scratch did 6 damage there, so this is still going to be a 6-hit KO on the Pidgeotto. So let's try this again. So there, just for testing, we've set up all the Hardens. He's still doing 3 damage per hit with the Pidgey. Even with a critical hit, it just doesn't seem to matter. And I'm just interested if we can get to Pidgeotto, how much damage it does here. So it also does 3 damage per hit at this point, but we just didn't have enough HP left. All right, so I have pretty much determined that this fight is impossible. Let me break it down very quickly. Here against the Pidgey, we would need to land 4 hits with Scratch in order to knock this one out. So assuming we have no misses, just very simply, that would mean that we get through this fight with 16 HP remaining just based on that. But then we have another problem. The Pidgeotto does too much damage to us, so we need to set up 2 Hardens here in order to get it so that the Pidgeotto is only doing 3 damage per hit to us. That gets us down to 10 HP now, and we have to use our berry here on the Pidgey. Now, assuming we hit the Scratch, which we're not very likely to because we've got so many accuracy drops, we can now get to Pidgeotto, and Pidgeotto will do 3 damage per hit with a non-critical hit Mud Slap. The problem is that if we can hit our Pidgey here, we can see we did 6 damage there. That means that Pidgeotto is a 6-hit KO, which means we need to be here in a position where we could survive 6 hits. What that means, right, assuming no critical hits on either side, would be that, number 1, we could never miss a single Scratch against that Pidgey. So first and foremost, we don't miss a single Scratch against the Pidgey, so that's 4 turns, even with 3 accuracy drops coming in that we never miss. And we have to set up the 2 Hardens on the Pidgey, because if we wait till Pidgeotto, it's doing like 7 damage per hit initially, 5 damage per hit after 1 Harden. I mean, the math in chat just doesn't work out either. So we have to set up the 2 Hardens on the Pidgey as well and get the 4 hits on it without ever having a miss, which means we have 5 accuracy drops going into Pidgeotto. Then we have to hit Pidgeotto 6 times in a row, meaning that it never gets a critical hit on us and we hit every single turn, in spite of the fact that our accuracy is only 33% after taking all of those accuracy drops. This one does not work. And it's not really a situation where I expect Struggle to get us through here, because Struggle's only 10 base power higher, but also results in us taking that extra point of damage every single turn when we do hit. So we'll try it a couple times, but I don't think we're getting through with Struggle strats here. So here we have used the powers of Game Hook in order to give ourselves no PP in Scratch, 2 PP in Harden, because that's the only way we're going to have a chance here. So let's try this against Falkner and see if it works. I'm not very confident though. So here, first attempt, we have to use our 2 Hardens right away now, so we are going to take some accuracy drops. Let's see what the damage output of Struggle is. So Struggle did 9 damage there, so Pidgey is now a 3-hit KO if we can land all 3 hits after using our 2 Hardens there. Now we're just not getting the accuracy luck here, but let's just see if we can get to Pidgeotto, because I'd like to just see what the damage range is there. So here on the second attempt, we did manage to hit Pidgeotto here, and we can see that we're now in a 5-hit KO range against Pidgeotto. We're definitely not getting through on this one, but it's slightly better. 3-hit range on Pidgey, 5-hit range on Pidgeotto. The whole issue, of course, still remains that we're just not having enough HP to get through with all these repeated mud slaps coming in, even with the berry on. So we can basically say that this fight is actually at least borderline impossible. What we would need in terms of luck is just ridiculous, even with the Struggle strats getting better ranges, because let's just math it out on the Pidgeotto. If Pidgeotto's a 5-hit KO and we're taking 3 damage per hit from Pidgeotto, and it always strikes first, and taking at least 1 recoil damage. Well, 5 turns times 4 damage that we're taking per turn would be 20 HP, right? But we have to have at least 1 HP more than that in order to be able to get through Pidgeotto. Otherwise, we're just simply not going to survive, which means we'd have to have at least 21 HP getting to Pidgeotto and never miss. Yet again, we're using 2 Hardens on the first Pidgey, and we're getting Mud Slapped the whole way down, so it's a 3-hit KO. So doing the math, right, that's 2 turns plus 3 turns. So we're going to take 4 Mud Slaps from it because we're faster. Assuming no misses, we're still talking about, what? We're taking 12 damage there. So we've got 13 HP remaining. Then the first hit from Pidgeotto will cause us to use our berries, so we could miss exactly 1 attack in this entire fight if we were ever going to get through it with this Kabutops. Now, yes, a critical hit could come in and make that range a little bit better, but the odds of only missing 1 attack in this fight with all the Mud Slaps coming on is basically impossible. So we're gonna just have to throw Kabuto also into the fail column. Kind of sad, but hey, we do what we gotta do. So let's check the results so far. Coming back here, we have added Kabuto and Omanyte to the fail column. We have gone ahead and put Kabutops and Omastar up in the pass column. Kind of a repeat of some other things that we've seen so far in this series, but like I said, channel members, this could be a good candidate Pokemon to save if you want to give it an egg move. We're gonna have 5 of those for the channel members in the next episode, so just stick around for that. With that being said, let's get to some flying Pokemon. Lots and lots of flying Pokemon that will make Falkner completely jealous of us, because we're coming in with the legends. But first, Aerodactyl. Now, Aerodactyl is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time because of its speed. I've talked about this on the RBY Pokemon Challenges channel before. Hashtag not RBY Pokemon Challenges. But when I was young, I figured out one thing in Pokemon really quickly that the other kids on the playground hadn't figured out yet, which was that speed was the key to the game. I used to just build speed demon teams because in Gen 1, speed was not only tied to who went first, but also how high your critical hit chance was. which meant that a Pokemon like Aerodactyl would have a massive crit chance and just be able to destroy opponents with hyper beams and things like that. So here we put Aerodactyl into the Cyndaquil ball. We're going to go up against the Totodile. I think it makes perfect sense. Let's see the starting move set here. And sure enough, just like in Gen 1, we are leading off with Wing Attack as our attacking move. But unlike Gen 1, I think this might be enough to get us through the first gym. It's a same type move, and Wing Attack has been buffed significantly to 60 base damage here. And with 60 base power plus stab, so it's effectively 90 base power, I just don't think we're going to have any troubles. I mean, Falkner's Pokemon, they're going to be stuck just hitting us as a rock type for very little damage. So we're going to show him, I think, with all these birds, that we're actually the master bird keeper here. So here against Rival 1, we're just going to save the game. I'm not even going to mess with that berry. I don't think we need to. So he can send out his Totodile, and we're going to Wing Attack. Look how much damage that did. 10 damage. This is going to be a 3-hitter. From the looks of it. Oh, it's a 2-hitter. Rip. Oh, he gets completely destroyed. Aerodactyl, completely OP. Now, honestly, Aerodactyl is such a cool Pokemon. I always used to just get the old Amber, go to the Pewter Museum, and get this Pokemon in Gen 1, because why wouldn't you? But I always had one very big question about it. Why is this Pokemon considered a dragon? Why is it on Lance's team? I mean, yes, it can learn Dragon Rage, but is that a good enough reason for this to be on the Dragon Trainer's final team? Of course, we could go with the squidgy belief that he is the liar with the flyers, but, you know, as far as I'm concerned, this was not actually a dragon Pokemon. But in the interest of finding out how it would be as a dragon Pokemon, I am preparing a run over on RBY Pokemon Challenges where we're going to give it the dragon type and just see how it works out. Might end up doing something very similar here in Gen 2, just because I think it would be super interesting. But dragon fantasies aside, we have made it to Falkner's gym with Aerodactyl, level 6, 27 HP. Of course, it's a rock flying Pokemon. We know only Wing Attack. We have 19 attack, 14 defense, 14 special attack, 15 special defense, a massive whopping 22 in speed. I don't think we need this berry. We're going to outspeed Omastabe's Spearow, which is always a special treat. Let's see if we can just beat him right away. So here we're just going to hold down Auto A on Wing Attack. He does 3 damage to us and we do 13 damage to him. So this is a 3-hit KO. Easy win. Let's just beat up on Rodney, make our way to Falkner. So just like that, we make our way to the gym leader. We're going to give the berry here just to be safe, but keep in mind, we're immune to Mud Slap. So I think this is going to be incredibly easy. Let's find out if that's actually the case though. So Falkner attempt number 1, we're just going all in on the Wing Attack. Pidgey appears to be a 2-hit KO. Oh, we've learned agility, but I don't think we need it. We're already faster. So just Wing Attack is looking to be a 3-hitter here. He's using Gust, which only does 2 damage per hit. And oh my goodness, that was easy. This Pokemon, Aerodactyl, just an absolute beast. I think it's going to be great in the next section too. Obviously, it's got a type advantage against Bugsy. It's going to resist the poison type moves. Wing Attack can for some reason hit ghosts. So it's really just Rival 2's Croconaw that could pose some trouble, but I mean, it's only going to know Water Gun, I think. We might just be able to get through this. So with that being said, let's just save the game on this one. And let's move on now to some legendary birds. We're going to start with the Gen 2 legendaries, starting with Ho-Oh and working our way back. But I think we'll put Ho-Oh up against Moltres. And then we'll come back for Lugia. We'll kind of look at Articuno and Zapdos relative to that. Now, of course, Ho-Oh was always kind of an enigma when I was a kid, because it was in the very first episode of the Pokemon anime. And when Ash Ketchum has his whole, episode with his Pikachu not wanting to obey, and then they killed 500 Spearows with a single Thunder. And then They wake up the next day and they see like a Ho-Oh or a Ho-Oh flying over the rainbow. And I remember as a kid, people conjecturing what that Pokemon was because it wasn't in the game at that point. They were already planning for this Pokemon to be in the next generation, which is just ridiculous. But there we go. So Ho-Oh comes in, and let's just see what his starting moveset is. I believe it gets something really, really strong. And sure enough, it starts with Sacred Fire, a 100 base power move, 95% accurate with only 5 PP, which is what they did for these legendaries in Gen 2 at the start of the game, as far as I remember. I believe it's Aeroblast on Lugia. And basically, they just gave them this super strong move with very little PP, but after Falkner, I mean, we should get access to Mud Slap. We should get access, I think, to Swift. I'll double check that. But that should be enough to get through. I'm interested to see what the Gen 1 legendary birds get, because while, yes, I think they're going to get decent movesets, they're probably not this strong. The Sacred Fire, I'm not sure if it's only for this Ho-Oh or if any other Pokemon can learn it, but it's clearly a very strong move. So here, let's just save the game. Let's go into Rival 1. Now, he is going to resist our attacking move. I'm not sure it's going to matter, though. So here, let's go Sacred Fire. And oh yeah, look at that. 8 damage with that first hit and the burn. So we're just going to keep spamming Sacred Fire. That animation is awesome. And we completely destroy Totodile. Very nice. Easy, easy win. So here we can show Professor Elm our absolutely amazing Ho-Oh, and he's going to be like, that Pokemon didn't exist. What are you talking about? We saw it. We saw it all the way back in Gen 1 in the anime. We know what we're talking about. Ash mistakes it for a Pokemon on the wall of the Viridian Pokemon Center, where they show the legendaries of Gen 1, which are, of course, Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno, and Arcanine sitting on the wall there. Arcanine, also a legendary Pokemon. Just check the Pokedex, guys. Come on. But here we can see Ho-Oh is absolutely destroying everything. So if anything holds it back, it's just going to be its lack of PP. If we get some like random misses, we might run out of PP on something and have to use struggle strats to get through. But I'm hopeful that we're going to get more PP from other damaging moves fairly soon to keep that from being a major problem as we go through. So here we have made it to Falkner's gym. Congratulations, us. Ho-Oh coming in at level 6 with 30 HP. We know Sacred Fire. We've got 22 attack, 17 defense, 20 special attack, 25 special defense, and 17 in speed. Let's just save the game and fight Honest Abe. So here in the Honest Abe fight, I'm just gonna hold down A on Sacred Fire. So he did 6 damage to us, and we just did 20 damage to him and burned his Spearow. Oh, he gets wrecked. Oh, that was an easy fight. Let's go and fight Rodney and make our way to Falkner. We're nearly one-shotting Rod's Pidgeys, and then we leveled up, so now we do get the one-hit KO. That makes me feel great. But we're going to go heal up because we're out of PP in Sacred Fire. We do not want to use Struggle here. Sacred Fire, way stronger than Struggle. But let's just come in back into the gym. Let's save the game. We still have the berry on, so let's just check the stats. Ho-Oh's coming in at level 7 with 34 HP now. 25 attack, 19 defense, 22 special attack, 28 special defense, and 19 speed. I think we got this, guys. Let's fight Falkner. Round 1. So here we can use Sacred Fire, and that is a one-hit KO on the Pidgey. We level up to level 8. Now we're out speeding, and it looks to be a 2-hit KO on Pidgeotto, and we burned it. Oh, this is stupid. Oh, that was so easy. Falkner, get wrecked. This is the thing. Of course, the Pokedex is heavily weighted towards the back end. We know that the Pokemon at the end of the Pokedex tend to be the strongest ones, but still Ho-Oh is absolutely amazing going into this next section. Level 8, 37 HP. We only know Sacred Fire, but I do believe we're going to learn Mud Slap here, so we'll have something else to use. And we can Yes, learned Swift, so very nice. So we are going to go into the next section with 28 attack, 22 defense, 25 special attack, 32 special defense, 22 speed. And let's just face it, I mean, the next gym leader being Bugsy, Ho-Oh's just gonna completely destroy that gym. Will Croconaw be enough to be any sort of real roadblock even for this one? I don't think so. I think we just beat Bugsy, and then at worst we go for a bunch of mud slap strats. See if it works. Anyway, that does it for this Pokemon. Let's move on to Moltres. See if it's as legendary as Ho-Oh. Now, of course, I know I've said it to people many times. I consider Moltres to be the single most disappointing Pokemon from the original generation. It's the last of the legendary birds that you encounter inside of Victory Road, and yet in Gen 1 it just has no moveset, and it has really no benefits to it. It only gets fire and flying moves, and those moves just aren't enough to get through anything meaningful. When you get to the end of the game, everything resists fire, everything is strong against fire, and if it's not strong against fire, it's strong against flying. So you just kind of end up getting wrecked. But let's see if Gen 2 helped our fried chicken here. Oh yes, Moltres, the fried chicken itself. Here I think Wing Attack and Ember is a pretty big upgrade. And yeah, I think this is enough to get through this section. I don't think we're going to have any major issues. Our attack stat is pretty high, though our special stat's higher, so I'm not sure which move is going to do more damage. Probably Wing Attack if I had to guess, though. So here, let's take on Rival 1, where we shouldn't really have to think too hard. There's only one strategy. Just spam Wing Attack over and over again. That did 11 damage to him. He used Leer, so we're going to win in 2 hits without even taking any damage. Good job, Rival number 1. So here we have officially made it to Falkner's gym with Moltres. And I'm sorry, but correct me if I'm wrong. I've always felt like this sprite literally makes it look like a chicken. Like an angry chicken, or maybe like an angry goose, actually. This one looks like an angry flaming goose. But regardless, here we're not going to worry too much about that. We've come in, Moltres, level 6, 28 HP. We know Wing Attack and Ember, of course. We've got 18 attack, 17 defense, 21 special attack, 17 special defense, and 17 speed. We're not going to outspeed right away. I don't think it matters. Let's just come up here and fight against Honest Abe. So here, the strategy, I think I'm just going to go Wing Attack. Wing Attack did, it looks like 13 damage there, and he did 5 damage to us. Here, let's just give him an Ember just to see. Yeah, so Wing Attack is the stronger move. We're going to get through without having to use the berry. Very nice. Let's just heal up, beat up on Rodney, and we can go ahead and make our way to Falkner. So here, coming into the Falkner fight, let's just check the tail of the tape on Moltres. We're at level 7 now. We're still looking like an angry mama goose. Sorry, I can't unsee that now. But here we've got 31 HP, same moveset as before, but now 21 attack, 19 defense, 24 special attack, 19 special defense, and 19 speed. We should be pretty much in the same boat as Ho-Oh here. We should end up outspeeding the whole fight. Let's just go ahead and take on Falkner. Let's try round number 1. So here we're just going to spam Wing Attack on the Pidgey. It is a 2-hit KO. Very nice. We get to level 8 right there. Now Wing Attack here on Pidgeotto is looking to be a 3-hit KO. And that is a very, very easy win. So Moltres didn't even need the berry. We're expecting, just like with Ho-Oh, that we're going to end up, you know, learning some new moves, Mud Slap, Swift in the next section, that we'll be able to use these same moves with Wing Attack and Ember, but we also are going to learn Fire Spin at level 13. It should be chip damage, but that might help in certain fights. So we'll just have to see how it actually works out. But Moltres is through Falkner. Very, very nice. Let's check out Lugia now. It's been a minute since I've done a Lugia run. So Lugia was the reason that I actually chose Pokemon Silver when I originally bought Gen 2. Because I thought it looked cooler than Ho-Oh personally. But I will also admit that Lugia was one of my test Pokemon when I first was kind of messing around with Gen 2 before I started the channel. Of course, before I start the channel, I did just a little bit of testing just to make sure that my overlay worked, to make sure that minimum battles was even in some way, shape, or form possible. I won't tell you how far I got in my testing. I will not tell you exactly what strategies worked for me and what strategies didn't. Let's see, did I put it there? Yes, I did put it there. What I will tell you is that I know that Lugia starts with Aeroblast. And having only 5 PP in your strongest move can be a detriment at certain points. That's all I'm going to say at this point. We're going to have to see how it actually goes as we go through the run. Now, the real question is just, is it going to destroy things as easily as Sacred Fire did for Ho-Oh, since this is also a 100 base power same type move? So first things first, let's test it out against Rival 1. He's going to come in, of course, with his Totodile, because we had to not really go against either the Chikorita or the Cyndaquil. We were going to destroy them both. Here, Aeroblast gets a critical hit in one shot. Easy game. So we can come back here and report to the police that a guy tried to fight us, but we were far too powerful. Professor, he's just like, what? What is this? How did you get legendary Pokemon? You just left my lab. He accidentally gave us the legendary when he meant to give us a Trashmon. And just like that, we make our way to Falkner's gym with Lugia, level 6, 30 HP coming in. We only know Aeroblast, we've only got 5 PP. But we have 17 attack, 22 defense, 17 special attack, 25 special defense, and 20 in speed. Let's see if we can just defeat Honest Abe. So here, we outspeed an Aeroblast one-shots with a critical hit. So here, let's save the game, beat up Rodney, and make our way on to Falkner. So coming into the Falkner fight, we still haven't used the first berry that was on our Pokemon. We're level 7, 34 HP, same moveset as before, but now 19 attack, 25 defense, 19 special attack, 28 special defense, and 22 speed. So we're going to speed right on through this gym here. Let's just see if we one-shot or two-shot or maybe three-shot Falkner's Pokemon, but this should be easy. So here, Falkner attempt number 1. It's just auto-A on Aeroblast. It's going to be a 2-hit KO on Pidgey. Keep in mind, we've only got 3 PP remaining. So here, Aeroblast does more than half to Pidgeotto, and we get the KO. Easy, easy win. Never in question. And obviously, Lugia is going to be great in the next section against Bugsy. At least we would expect so. We should destroy Bugsy's gym with Aeroblast. The real question is, are we going to run into spots where we don't have enough PP in the move? Now, we should be able to get Swift and Mud Slap in this next section, so we should have enough attacking PP to get through fights. But the fact that Aeroblast only has 5 PP could become a barrier at some point in the run. We'll just have to see. For now, we can save the game, and it's time to move on to Zapdos. So Zappy Boy, of course, was the most competitive of the legendary birds in Gen 1. It does have an OU niche from my understanding, but I don't think it was the best in a full game solo run. In Pokemon Yellow, it starts the game with Drill Peck and Thundershock, which is a massively strong moveset at the start of the game, but it just doesn't quite get through Brock on minimal battles, whereas something like Moltres with Fire Spin or Articuno, you know, of course it's spamming that whole Ice Beam at the start of the game, completely destroy Brock and they get through. Zapdos just hits a wall right there. So it's just rock types that Zapdos has no answers for other than Mimic in the late game. Here, let's see the moveset in this version. And here in Gen 2, it starts with only Peck and Thundershock, which is rather interesting. Now, we do have one big advantage with Zapdos, which is that you can't really put it up against the Chikorita line because it would destroy Chikorita with flying type moves. And you can't put it up against the Totodile line because it would completely destroy Totodile with electric type moves. So the only rival that we can really put it up against is the Cyndaquil. And so that means that unlike most of our challengers, it doesn't have to deal with any sort of type weakness when we go up against rival number 2. So I think Zapdos has the clearest, easiest path through the next section, and should struggle less than a lot of these other Pokemon as we move into the kind of middle game of this challenge. So I don't expect to have any trouble whatsoever with Falkner here. We flying types, so we don't even have to worry about the mud slaps. We've got a super effective electric type move with a legendary Pokemon with legendary stats. This should be perfectly fine, but let's just test it out on Rival 1. It is Cyndaquil. Now, both moves are same type, but I think Thundershock is stronger. I'm just going to put it into the top slot. Let's see, we did 9 damage with that. Used Leer, and his tackle does 4 damage, and we easily 3-hit KO Rival number 1. So, no problems so far. And Professor Elm's going to be shocked by our Pokemon, and we're just going to move on. We don't care about your opinions, Professor Elm. Leave us alone. We're here to destroy this entire section of the game. I mean, this is another Pokemon where the real question is just, do we one-shot things in Falkner's gym? Not really do we get through. Now, with all these legendary Pokemon, the one thing that we do have to keep in mind at this point in the game, though, is that this is just the beginning of the game, and everything starts at level 5, and the level spreads aren't that big. But when we're dealing with legendary Pokemon that have slow level up rates, this could become a big factor as we continue through the game. Because while yes, levels are lower in Gen 2 compared to Gen 1, there's not as many massive level jumps. We're still dealing with Pokemon that don't gain levels very quickly, so we might still be at a disadvantage in the late game with these. But here, coming into Falkner's gym, we are now level 6 with 28 HP. Thundershock and Peck is the moveset. We've got 17 in attack, defense, and special defense. We got 21 special attack, and we got 18 speed. That higher special attack is going to help a lot here since we have Thundershock. Electric moves are special. So here against Honest Abe, let's just get into this fight. We're just going to use Thundershock. It is not a one-hitter, funny enough. It did 17 damage, and we paralyzed him, so we just get to wreck him on the next turn. Very good. So Zappy Boy gets through that. Let's just move on to the God Rod, where we should be able to wreck. But we get through Rod, and it's on to Falkner. I don't think we even need to heal. Let's just check the stats. We're coming in at level 7. We've got 31 HP. And we have now 19 attack, defense, and special defense. We've got 24 in special attack and 21 in speed. We're going to outspeed the whole way. See how this goes. So Falkner attempt number 1, just auto A on Thundershock. We don't quite one-shot the Pidgey, but it misses a tackle, so very nice. Now he moves on to his Pidgeotto. Thundershock on him does 23 damage. He uses tackle, and he's just getting wrecked. He never had a shot. So yeah, pretty standard stuff there. Falkner gets wrecked. It was never in question. I mean, we don't really expect many Pokemon in today's episode to fail just because they're so strong. It's really more about how they're going to stack up in the next section, and Zapdos should be perfectly fine. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to completely destroy Bugsy's gym, I think. And we don't really have anything to worry about against Rival 2 either. Both of our attacking moves can hit ghosts. And, I mean, we're going to destroy the Zubat. What? Quillava's not going to be that scary. It might just use some accuracy strats on us. We'll get it. So, yeah, Zappy Boy, he's moving on. So let's get to the last of these legendary birds. We've got Articuno. We're going to find out if it's numero uno when it comes to the legendaries. So Articuno, at least in all of my testing up to this point, was the best of the legendary birds in Generation 1. It just has the best matchups. The only place it really hits a wall is Lorelei. It just doesn't have an answer for her unless you start going Mimic strats or some sort of other broken TM moves. But really, that's the only spot in the game where it struggles. Once it gets through Lorelei, it destroys Bruno, it destroys... I mean, it doesn't destroy, but it gets through Agatha just fine. Lance is a complete joke for this Pokemon. And then, I mean, ice moves are pretty OP in Gen 1. Now, what we're going to have to deal with here in Gen 2 is that there are quite a few nerfs to ice-type Pokemon. It's no longer neutrally effective against fire. It's resisted, I believe, by steel. There's other ways to get through these ice types. So here we're going to pick up Articuno, and I already know a little bit about the moveset. When I originally played Gen 2, I actually Game Sharked this Pokemon in way back when in Pokemon Silver. And so I already knew about Powder Snow. Now, at the time, I did not know Powder Snow's strength or anything like that. This is way back when Gen 2 originally came out. I remember like getting up in the morning and walking to a shop near my house to buy it as a kid. And yeah, I picked up Silver version because Lugia looks cooler than Ho-Oh. At least so I thought. But I immediately just didn't use either of those and just Game Sharked in Articuno because Articuno was the best from Gen 1. We knew it. So yeah, I tested this just a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that Powder Snow is going to be more than enough here. Obviously, we're not going to have to deal with any shenanigans from Falkner. So let's get straight into this Rival 1 fight where we're up against the Cyndaquil, so we shouldn't use Powder Snow. We should use Gust. Gust, fortunately, also a same type move. So here Gust does about 8 damage. He did 3 to us. So it's just going to be a 3-hit KO to knock him out. Easy win. But really my earliest impressions from running these Pokemon back to back to back is that obviously Aerodactyl is not a legendary bird, but at this point it's strong enough to get through easily. But the legendary birds of Gen 1 are clearly made to be weaker than the legendary birds of Gen 2, not just in terms of stats, but also in terms of their move sets that they start with. Clearly the devs were trying to make Lugia and Ho-Oh something very special. So we're going to have to see, especially in the case of something like Moltres being compared up against Ho-Oh, if there's ever a point where maybe a slight difference in their stats and move pools causes Moltres to get wrecked where Ho-Oh just keeps going on. But that's for later. Right now, we've gotten Articuno into Falkner's gym. We're at level 6 with 28 HP. We know Gust and Powder Snow, of course. We've got 17 attack, 18 defense, 18 special attack, 21 special defense, and 17 in speed. We're not going to outspeed here, but I think we'll be okay. Let's just try this against Honest Abe. Obviously, we're going to just spam Powder Snow here. So Powder Snow, oh, we got critical hit there, but Powder Snow did 17 damage there. So it's going to be a 2-hitter, and he gets frozen. Get wrecked. Oh, now let's move on to Rodney. Rod, you have no shot. Powder Snow will not one-shot at this level, but it's fine. We're going to just 2-hit KO these Pidgeys. And we freeze the second Pidgey. Are you kidding me? Oh, this is broken. So here we heal up. Let's save the game. Let's check the stats on our Articuno. So we're coming into Falkner, level 7 to 31 HP. Same moveset as before, but now 19 attack, 21 defense, 20 special attack, 24 special defense, and 19 speed. It's funny to me that we have fairly weak special attack, and yet we're doing just fine here. Let's just see how the Falkner fight goes. So Falkner, round 1, we're just going auto-way on Powder Snow. We almost got the one-shot there. I'll just Gust to finish off the Pidgey. Now on Pidgeotto, Powder Snow did about half, and yeah, we're gonna knock him out in 2 hits, easily win. It's kind of what we expected, though. I mean, I'm not surprised or shocked by this result by any means. I mean, we expected Articuno to get through that fight. It didn't expect it to be hard in any way, shape, or form. But we're basically in a range where, you know, we're 2-shotting opponents. But we can see it's not quite as strong as Lugia and Ho-Oh as we go through. I'm really worried about Whitney's rollouts with this Pokemon. Now, we could get a freeze, and that could be the solution. I think it's like a 10% chance to freeze, but I'll double check that on Powder Snow. I'm not sure. But if it is, that might just be the strategy, is to spam till we get the freeze and then just beat her that way. We'll find out. Anyway, that does it for the legendary birds. So going back and looking at our stats so far, we can see that basically all of these flying types just completely crushed this section of the game. So we've got an Aerodactyl through, of course, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, but we've also added on Lugia and Ho-Oh. Now it's time to get to some normal type Pokemon before we finish off with the legendary doggos of Pokemon Crystal. Let's check out how our Snorlax kind of matches up against the Stantler. I mean, they're both normal type Pokemon, but I'm not sure how much different they will be in this section. Obviously, Snorlax is basically the best Pokemon in this generation, but I'm kind of nervous about it as it goes through this run. We're just gonna have to see. So first things first, let's get that Snorlax up. So I mean, we can see that Snorlax is an absolute beast. It's 16th ranked in terms of base stats. It's got that massive HP, it's got that massive attack stat, great special defense. I mean, what more could you want? It just doesn't have speed, but let's just see how Snorlax does. Now, we did the Snorlax race between Gen 1 and Gen 2 where we did Curse Lax up against the Amnesia Lax, and then we had to do the X-Lax run because it got wrecked in Gen 2. But we got to keep in mind that Gen 2 and Gen 1 aren't really apples to apples. I mean, there's a whole post-game to Gen 2. You don't gain levels as fast in Gen 2, so there are a lot of things like that. So here we have put our Sleepy Boy into the Totodile Ball, so we'll go up against the Chikorita line as we go through the run. But let's just see what the starting moveset of a normal Snorlax is. All right, and we start with only Tackle. Now, we do have the advantage of having massive amounts of HP and having a good attack stat, which could mean a lot as we go through the run. And we got to keep in mind, we will learn plenty of TMs, but I'm not sure we learn anything for Rival 2. And that's kind of scary. We might be stuck because what, we're going to learn Amnesia and Defense Curl, Belly Drum. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, all of those could be useful moves, but none of them help us against Rival 2. Ooh, this could be bad, guys. So first things first, let's take on Rival number 1, where we can just spam Tackle. There's nothing else to do here. He growls at us, and we still did 11 damage. I guess that was a critical hit, but 3 hits to knock him out, even with the growls coming in. Easy game. All right, so here at level 6, we're coming into Falkner's gym with 37 HP. We only know Tackle. We've got the Berry on. We have 20 attack, 14 defense, 14 special attack, 20 special defense, and only 10 speed. I don't think we're going to outspeed at all in this entire gym, but let's see if our HP and attack stat are enough to get through, starting with Honest Abe. So here for the Honest Abe fight, we have no strategy other than just Tackle. He did 8 damage to us, and we did 9 damage to him, so he should be a 3-hit KO here. So as long as we land the hit, easy win. We didn't even have to use the berry. And that was easy enough. Didn't even need to use the berry. So let's just check the stats as we come into Falkner here. We're coming in with Snorlax at level 7, 41 HP now. Same moveset as before, but now we've got 22 attack, 16 defense, 16 special attack, 22 special defense, 11 speed. Let's just see if we can get through Falkner easily with this Pokemon. So for our Snorlax, I mean, it's just more auto A on Tackle. We're going to pretty easily just wreck this one. Nice 3 hits to take out the Pidgey. We level up and learn Amnesia, not that that helps us here. Now Gust did 6 damage. We're going to heal up with the Berry right here. We should have plenty of turns though. We're got him basically in a 4-hit KO range. So there we go. We get through Falkner very easily with Snorlax. No problem at all. And just like that, we are moving on. So Snorlax, because it gets access to Mud Slap, I feel a lot better about the next section. At least it gives us a way to take out Ghastly. We're going to want to get Return with this Pokemon, I think. I don't see any real way that we're going to be competitive in the middle game without that. Now, granted, we can also learn a bunch of elemental punches and things like that. It's not like our special attack is great by any means, but, you know, coverage is coverage. Something like Rollout could be kind of interesting. We get Defense Curl, we get Belly Drum, which obviously is a pretty big deal because Belly Drum will allow us to basically boost up our attack stat Let's just see how that actually works out though as we go through. Anyway, we're going to save the game right there. And now let's just check on Stantler. Let's see how that Pokemon looks. So Stantler is a Pokemon that I basically know nothing about. I mean, it's a normal type, reindeer Pokemon, but, I would have thought it would be an ice type or something, given that it's literally a reindeer. But, whatever works. So here, we're just going to pick up our Pokemon and hopefully find out that it has a decent moveset. That's what I'm hopeful for. But like I said, I just really don't know. As we get to some of these more obscure Gen 2 Pokemon, I just literally never played them in the past. It would be interesting to backport some of these just to see how they actually perform in Gen 1. But first things first, Stantler, let's see the starting moveset. And it's coming in looking just like Snorlax with only Tackle. So it does look like we have more speed and more special attack, but less defense, less special defense. Our attack stat looks decent. Our HP is just kind of meh. Let's see how this works out. It is Stab, and we're technically not fully evolved Pokemon because we didn't evolve from anything, but hopefully that means our stats are good enough to get through. And we're in the slow level up group, so we don't get any advantage by like having a better level up group to get more stats. Oh, this is rough. But let's just see. This might just be okay. So here for Rival 1, I'm just going to save the game and get into the fight. Let's see how he goes. We're just going to hold down Auto A on Tackle. And that did 6 damage here. He did 3 damage back to us. So he's going to be a 4-hit KO, but that is an easy win. Very nice. We can see that we're nowhere near as strong as we were with Snorlax, but, we'll take it, I guess. All right, so Stantler has made it to Falkner's gym. We're at level 6 with 26 HP. Still only no Tackle. We've got 18 attack, 14 defense, 17 special attack, 14 special defense, and 17 in speed. So we are going to be able to outspeed later on. We're not going to outspeed against Honest Abe, though. Let's just see how this Honest Abe fight goes. So, turn 1, he does 8 damage to us, and we did 7 damage to him. Oh, and there he gets a crit. So now we heal up, but we may need a critical hit to get through this fight. Okay, and there we got a much better range, and we do manage to get through Honest Abe on the second attempt. So it's pretty clear that our lower defense and lower HP are causing us issues, but let's just see. So we easily get through the God Rod, so we can just heal up here going into Falkner. We're definitely going to need a berry because our defense is not very good, and let's just check the stats here. So Stantler coming into Falkner is at level 7 with 29 HP. Still no change to the moveset. We've got 20 attack, 15 defense, 19 special attack, 16 special defense, and 19 speed. We should also level up midway through this fight, so we will outspeed against the Pidgeotto as well. Let's just see how this goes on the first attempt against Falkner. So here, just Auto A on the Pidgey, we missed the first tackle. The second tackle does 8 damage, so this should be a 3-hit KO against the Pidgey. The fact that we had that miss was kind of bad. Now we leveled up and we learned Leer. So we could Leer at Pidgeotto one time, and we miss another tackle. With the Leer, we're doing 12 damage there. So, oh, and we get the critical hit and win. I was about to say, with one Leer and without those 2 misses, we would definitely get through. But here, when he could have easily knocked us out on this turn, we got the critical hit that we needed. And there we go. We beat Falkner on the first attempt. But clearly, Stantler is more than possible to get through here. It's not going to necessarily be super consistent. It might take a few attempts to get through Falkner. Keep in mind, this is with max DVs or max IVs if you're coming from later gens. So this is not representative of a weak Stantler by any means, but for a strong Stantler, yeah, you can get it done. So the real question is, how is this Pokemon going to look in the next section? So looking at Stantler's moveset, it's going to learn Hypnosis at level 15, and that could be massive if we can get there. And Stomp, I don't think we'll get there in this next section, but that will be a very good same type move. And let's see, we do learn Mud Slap, so we will have something to use against Rival 2's Ghastly. And we learn Swift, which is a same type move, stronger than Tackle. So that will give us an upgrade in the next section as well as we go into the Bugsy gym. So it's really just going to come down to, I think to some degree, whether or not we get to Hypnosis in this next section and just if we're able to survive enough hits. Anyway, Stantler gets through, so let's look at our results so far. We have added both Snorlax and Stantler to the winners column, which means we've only got 4 Pokemon left to do in this episode, and we're all the way up to 152 Pokemon getting through. 76 have failed so far. If any of these last 4 fail, I think it has to be Smeargle. That's my bet at this point, but we'll just find out, because what are we going to sketch? Will we be slow enough to sketch? It's kind of up in the air, but one way or another, we're going to give it a shot. Let's get into the Smeargle run. So, of course, I do know a bit about Smeargle, given the fact that we used it in the community challenge race for Scott's Thoughts when I was doing it in Pokemon Yellow over on the RBY Pokemon Challenges channel. Basically, my whole goal there was just to beat the game basically on these sorts of settings, minimum battles, but it requires some serious shenanigans breaking Gen 1 in order to get a kind of glitched out encounter before Brock so that you actually have a move that gets through him. But once you get that, I mean, it wasn't terrible. You were able to get through the entire game on minimum battles with the Smeargle. The question is, we are playing on max DVs, which is actually a bit of a disadvantage with this Pokemon. Because for Sketch, you need to be slower than your opponent. You need your opponent to use a move and then sketch the move off of them, especially with the first sketch, right? Later on, you can use your other moves and then wait for them to use the move you want and then just sketch it off of them. But here, we're not going to have that advantage. So the question is, what move will we be able to sketch? And we're not going to get a second sketch until level 10. I'm not sure we're going to get there, though we are in the fast level up group, so we might just get there. So we're going to have to be very selective going through this run which moves we learn, and we're going to need to learn them for specific reasons. Now, I'm willing to bet the Pokemon that we're slow enough to sketch against are likely going to be Honest Abe, who's going to use Peck. So that means that we're sketching Peck off of him. And then, like, you know, maybe Falkner's Pidgeotto could outspeed us, but I don't think it will, because we've already got 13 speed, so we're already at level 5, almost as fast as his Pidgey. I don't know, we just might end up struggling this whole time. So I'm not going to bother putting up the moveset because there isn't really a moveset at this point. It's all just sketch. Let's just check as we come into Rival 1. We've got one sketch, but we should outspeed him, I think. So we're going to end up struggling here. So I'm going to keep the berry on. Let's see how this goes. So Rival 1, we fail sketch. He growls at us. Now we're just using struggle because that's all we can do at this point. He's doing quite a bit of damage to us. We're taking 1 damage back in recoil as well. And yeah, we're getting wrecked here by Rival 1. Now, I think that turn 1 growl was kind of bad. I think we just want him to attack us so that we have more damage output. So we fail there. He misses the tackle. Nice. He's doing like 5 damage to us. So here we're doing 3 damage per hit to him. And there we do knock him out on the second attempt, but we still haven't been able to sketch a move. And that's kind of scary. And the especially big deal, and the thing that I was kind of working around when I was doing this in Gen 1 with the backport that Scotty provided, was that we don't have great attack or special attack. So we really want moves that don't rely on those. So I was using fixed damage moves, things like Nightshade, in order to just do fixed damage to opponents for massive sections of the game. And then I was using sleep moves in order to keep them asleep while I just whittle them down. Because what is the point of trying to get access to damage dealing moves when you don't have the stats to really use them? Here we lose to youngster Mikey. I think we have to put on another berry just because we're stuck struggling. So let's try youngster Mikey round 2, where of course we can't sketch. We get tackled and then we 2-shot the Pidgey. Very nice. Level up to level 6. We're faster than Rattata. And here we're doing significantly better damage and not getting hit because he's just tail whipping. So there we go. We beat youngster Mikey on the second attempt, but we can see that even that's not consistent because we just don't have a direct damaging move. We're just stuck using struggle strats here. Now, I do feel like this is a little different from other struggle Pokemon in that we wouldn't need to go find a wild Pokemon to use up our PP against. We're just using our only PP in sketch and then getting through that way. So my system's going to automatically put this in the struggle category because we used struggle, but I may just end up moving it to whichever category it's supposed to be in at the end. So here we have made it to Falkner's gym. Let's check the stats. We're coming in at level 6 with 24 HP. We know sketch. We have 9 attack, 11 defense, 9 special attack, 12 special defense, and 15 speed. We're not going to outspeed here against Honest Abe, so we should be able to sketch Peck. But will it be enough? So here he's going to peck us, and Peck did 9 damage. So we sketch Peck off of him, but our Peck did 3 damage to him, and he's doing 9 damage per hit to us. So we just get wrecked. So I think we have to just eliminate Smeargle here on minimum battles. The issue is that we don't have any way to sketch a different move, and we don't have very good stats anyway. Like, even if we were to replace sketch with something like, I don't know, tackle, which is the same type move, it's still probably not enough to get through that fight. So I think we just have to eliminate Smeargle here. So with that, let's just move on to Suicune and see how it goes. Sorry, Smeargle, you're out of there. So here we go with the mascot of Pokemon Crystal, of course, in the form of Suicune. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. If I were to pronounce it in Japanese, it would be Suicune, because that's how you would pronounce that. But either way, this Pokemon, one of the legendary dogs, and clearly the one that people liked the best, I guess, because it gets, you know, the cover of the definitive version of this generation. So let's just see. We've put it inside the Totodile ball, of course. We will go up against the Chikorita line. What is the starting moveset? So we start the game with Bite and Leer. Very interesting. Obviously, we would expect Bite to be more than strong enough to get through this section, and it is kind of nice to have in the next section as well, since we're going to have that advantage as we go up against Rival 2 that his Ghastly just isn't that scary to us. It's going to also be a decent coverage move for fighting against that Bayleaf when we get there, but I'm not sure this is going to be as good as we want it to be. So here for Rival 1, let's just go straight into the fight where we know Leer and Bite, so I'm just going to use Bite right away. Oh, look at the damage. Critical hit, but we did 10 damage right there. He growls. I don't think it's going to matter. I think we're just going to knock him out in 4 hits. Very nice. Easy win. So Professor Elm, he's equally shocked that we've started with this legendary Pokemon. You know, he's only heard about it in legends, in stories, and yet here it is with basically no moveset, but that's fine. So let's just get through this section quick as possible. So here we have made it to Falkner's gym, level 6. Suicune has 29 HP, Bite and Leer, of course, 15 attack, 20 defense, 17 special attack, 20 special defense, and 17 speed. We're not going to outspeed anything at this point. Well, we've got such good defense. I think we're pretty fine right here. Let's try Honest Abe. Here, our Bite did 7 damage and his Peck did 5 damage. So that should be a win for us. Now, we are going to activate the berry, which is too bad, but we do get through no problems whatsoever. So of course, Rod was no challenge at all, so we're moving on to Falkner. At level 7, Suicune has 33 HP, and we have 17 attack, 23 defense, 19 special attack, 23 special defense, and 19 speed. And we also know we'll level up after the Pidgey, so let's just see how this goes. So here, Falkner attempt number 1, I'm not going to mess around, I'm just going to use Bite. Looks to be a 3-hit KO on the Pidgey, but it's only doing 3 damage per hit, so that's perfectly fine. Now we're going to outspeed here. Bite gets a critical hit against Pidgeotto, and here it looks like we get a 3-hit KO with that crit. Easy win, didn't activate the berry even, and we have added Suicune to the pass list. So here we can just save the game, and really looking ahead at the next section, I don't think it's going to be too bad. Just simply looking at the moveset, we will get Bubble Beam somewhere in this next section. We can learn both Mud Slap and Swift in the next section as well, so we've got plenty of coverage. We should be just fine in order to get through Rival 2, I think. So just like that, we've got another legendary through. For me personally, this is kind of the most boring episode of the series so far, because there's so many Pokemon that I just know are going to get through that there's not really much suspense or stress, but I don't know, something might still surprise us. And that actually comes up right now, because next is Entei. And Entei being a fire type, if it's not one-shotting Falkner, we might be dealing with some more of those Mud Slap strats. So let's get into this. So here we are with Entei. It ranks number 12 in terms of total base stats. Looks like we've got good HP and attack, decent defense, decent special attack. We got a lot of speed, not much special defense. So let's just see how this Pokemon actually performs. But if we have a fire move, I'd feel amazing. If we just end up with Bite and Leer, like the same as Suicune, then I'm a little nervous here, just because of the Mud Slap strats. I think it will still probably work, but we're just gonna have to see. So here, of course, we have put Entei into the Cyndaquil ball. Let's just check the stats. And sure enough, the moveset is Bite and Leer. So this makes Entei and Raikou seem a lot more stressful. Because if we have to just sit here and get Mud Slapped into oblivion, this could be bad. Now, keep in mind, Bite, as long as we outspeed, I believe it still has a chance to flinch. And that could be enough, right? If we get a tough spot, we might just need a flinch rather than a crit in order to get through a fight. So first things first, Rival 1, he shouldn't be too hard because we should just spam Bite and win, I think. Let's see. So here, Bite did over half. And okay, it turns out to be a 3-hit KO. We must have gotten a crit that first turn when I wasn't paying attention, but 3 hits to get through Rival 1, not too bad. So coming into Falkner's gym now with Entei, we are at level 6 with 31 HP. Same moveset as we had with Suicune, but now we've got 20 attack, 17 defense, 17 special attack, 15 special defense, and 18 speed. So I think we're going to do pretty well here. We're still going to be outsped by Honest Abe, but let's just see if we can beat him. So here, Peck did 5 damage and Bite did 6 damage. So clearly the berry is important here. Looks like we're doing 6 to 7 damage each time. It should be 2 more hits to knock him out, but we get a critical hit. Very nice. So now we can just check the stats as we go into Falkner. Level 7 with 35 HP, same moveset as before. But now we've got 23 attack, 19 defense, 19 special attack, 17 special defense, and 21 speed. We should outspeed the whole way here. Let's just see how easy Falkner is. So round 1 against Falkner, Bite, and we get Mud Slapped. We Bite again. It's looking like a 3-hitter for the Pidgey, which is pretty bad, honestly. We end up using our berry right there. We did get through to Pidgeotto though. And now we Bite it, it flinches. We land another Bite. I think we need 2 more bites to land. We get another flinch, and there we go. On the first attempt, we do beat Falkner with Entei in spite of getting hit by the Mud Slaps. We got really good flinch luck there. And that could be the key. Now, let's check the level up moveset here. So via level up, we're going to get Ember at level 11. And then it looks like we can learn quite a few TMs as we go through the run. So sure enough, we're going to get Mud Slap and Swift in the next section. So we've got some more upgrades coming in. Let's just see if it's enough. I'm really wondering if these Pokemon are just going to hit a wall from being in the slow level up group. But at least for now, we can get them through the first gym, and we kind of expect this. But last Pokemon is Raikou, and we just don't know if it's going to do well or not here. And I'm assuming it's going to be in the same situation using Bite and Leer. The real question is, what is its stat distribution? Because if its stat distribution is away from attack and more towards like special, it might struggle more here. So obviously Raikou, or I don't know, is it Raikou or Raikou according to people in the West? Pronouncing it in Japanese, it would be Raikou, because OU in Japanese, you know, phonetics, and when you're writing Romaji in Japan, the U is just extending the O sound. So it's the same with an E and an I. It's just extending the A sound that an E makes in Japanese. So I'm just pronouncing it like Japanese, Raikou. You tell me if it's wrong or not, but I'll tell you it's correct in Japanese. I'll just sit here and just stunt on people. Ore wa Nihongo hanashite masu. So here, let's just pick up our Raikou here. And I assume it has the exact same moveset. Sure enough. And like I kind of suspected, we have more of a stats distribution towards specials and away from physical attack. Now, we do have more speed, maybe, but this could spell bad things. If we can't do as much damage, if we have worse ranges, this could get a little scary. So here, let's just try it out on Rival 1. Let's see what kind of range we get with our Bite. So here, Bite did 6 damage there, and he misses the tackle. Very nice. So it's a 4-hit KO to knock out Chikorita. Easy. Now, we do have the advantage that Raikou is going to resist flying type moves, so we don't have to worry about that quite as much. The real question is just the Mud Slaps. The Mud Slaps could be terrible. I'm going to be so happy to get through this section and not have to deal with Mud Slap anymore unless I'm Mud Slapping them. It's going to feel so good, I swear to God. So here, coming into Falkner's gym, we're at level 6 with Raikou. We've got 28 HP. Same moveset as the other legendary doggos. 17 attack, 15 defense, 20 special attack, 18 special defense, and 20 speed. We're already going to outspeed here on the first Spearow. Let's go. Honest Abe, our last fight for this episode. Bite did 9 damage and he flinched. And he flinches again. And he survives with 1 HP. We didn't quite get the 3-hit range there, but we easily destroy him. So speed with the ability to flinch is a pretty nice combination. We've gotten all the way to Falkner without using our berry. And now we can check the stats. At level 7, Raikou is coming in with 31 HP, same as the other kind of legendaries in this tier. We've got the same moveset of Bite and Leer. Now we've got 19 attack, 17 defense, 23 special attack, 21 special defense, and 23 in speed. Let's go ahead and save the game and take on Falkner here. So Falkner attempt number 1, we're going to go all in on attack. So Bite did 12 damage there. We get Mud Slapped. We just missed the 2-hit range. So it's 11 to 12 damage there on the Pidgey. We level up to level 8 here though. Now we do manage to land a critical hit bite on the Pidgeotto. It flinches. Oh, we didn't miss a single bite. That is ridiculous. So there we go. Raikou completely destroys Falkner, as you would expect, in spite of the fact that it didn't get any electric type moves. So that is pretty nice, getting through with all of these legendaries. I mean, we kind of expected it though. We're going into the next section at level 8. We've got 35 HP, same moveset as before. We've got 21 attack, 19 defense, 26 special attack, 23 special defense, 26 speed. If we get the electric type move, we should be feeling pretty good going into Bugsy. And I mean, we don't have a weakness against Rival 2. So I think these electric types are honestly going to have some of the best matchups against Rival 2, just because they're not weak, they're just not strong. We're going to get Thundershock at level 11, it looks like. Roar comes in a bit later. I'm not sure we're going to get there, but we're going to get Swift. We're going to get Mudslap. I think we got more than enough to get through this next section. So with that being said, let's just save the game and check our Pokemon for next time. And I'll update you guys a little bit about how we're doing the final episode. So the results today are pretty insane. We're up to 155 Pokemon getting through. 77 Pokemon have failed. We didn't add a lot to the fail list, though more than I expected. Smeargle obviously just couldn't get through. It doesn't have good enough stats, and it can't sketch anything good enough to get through this section unless we pulled some sort of shenanigans, but we're not going to mess with that in this. We're going to play everything straight up. And then other than that, we failed with the unevolved fossils. Lord Helix and Lord Dome both went down in this section, funny enough, all just due to that Mudslap spam. But outside of that, everything gets through in this episode. And it's kind of to be expected. Like, we knew that these Pokemon would be pretty good. Now, I know that it's kind of cutting off down there at the bottom, but we can see the final Pokemon coming in. Next time, we're going to be doing the Dratini line. We're going to be doing the Larvitar line, of course, ending up with Tyranitar and Dragonite as two pseudo legendaries. We're going to pit them up against each other just to see how well they do. I wanted to keep some unevolved Pokemon for the final episode just to keep in place some possibility of some Pokemon failing, because for me personally, this sort of episode where I go in and I basically know what's going to get through and what isn't terribly interesting. That's just my opinion. We did find some interesting spots though, some spots where things weren't quite as clear or quite as easy as we necessarily expected them to be, especially with those rock water types. But here we've gotten through with them, so good enough. Next time we're going to have those unevolved forms still in place so that we know that something might not get through. Then we've got, of course, Mewtwo, Mew, and Celebi, the three kind of uber Pokemon here. I think they're going to do just fine. I don't see any way that we're losing really with any of them, just because I've already done Celebi and I know what it's... I didn't do it on minimum battles, mind you, but I do know what its starting moveset is, and I did test it against Falkner. I do think that this one's going to be just fine. That being said, next time we are coming back with some redo Pokemon, and I'd like you guys to look at the fail column. You guys have already voted that Quilava and Venusaur deserve a second chance. They deserve a chance to at least prove that maybe, just maybe, with some struggle strats or some slightly better ranges, that they could have gotten through Falkner. We're going to test that out. We're going to find out if that could actually be the case, because, hey, I'd love to get Venusaur through Quilava. If we can find a way to make it work, I'm down. There are a few other Pokemon down there that I think are worthy of at least a second shot. I might just do a little bit more testing with some of these Pokemon. Some people have been commenting about Shelter on some of the videos. Some people have been commenting about Nidoran female, just needing the right number of growls and tackles, and we didn't test struggle strats at that point. So it's another one that might get through. But the other thing that we're adding next time is the channel members. The 5 channel members get to choose a Pokemon and give it a single egg move that might let it get through. We're just doing that as a thank you to the channel members, so it's only going to be 5 from the fail column. Roy Merkel from the channel membership has already requested Vulpix with the addition of Hypnosis, which was a Gen 2 egg move for it. Hypnosis picks might just be good enough to get through this next section. Then we're going to have to find out what the other 4 guys have to say But if you guys suggestions, drop them in the comments below. I will drop a couple of my own suggestions right here. If I were to try some of these Pokemon with egg moves in order to get through this next section, I would be going Geodude with a Rock Slide, which is a very logical move to give it as an egg move, and it should be strong enough to get through this section. Both of the unevolved fossil Pokemon could have learned Aurora Beam via an egg move, and Aurora Beam as a ice type move would have absolutely crushed here. Funny enough, Togepi gets access to Present as an egg move, which would be pretty hilarious to mess around with in this section. And there are tons and tons more that could have gotten some of these Pokemon through. Anyway, drop your comments. Let me know which of these 9 Pokemon that we have remaining you think are going to get through next time. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Later.